See what Happy's got in the bag.
Oh, he buttered it up. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Oh.
No good! No good! Yeah! Oh my god! Yeah! Dude!
What's up, guys? Big Guy Bets back at it again with another free picks video. First off, I always like to say thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for commenting. And if you haven't yet already, like I always say, if you could please hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. I'm here every single day. I'm going to try to do 365 days straight of content. Right now, we are strictly college baseball, but I will dive into all the other sports throughout the year. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for being here with me. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do it. Kind of recapping, guys, that's what I always like to do in the beginning of here. I love to recap kind of how the whole day went, how VIP went, how the free pick went. Okay, we're back. I don't know why it always tries to freeze on me when I'm doing these videos, but we are back. What I was getting into, the free pick video kind of went weird because I really did like a play. I liked the Clemson USC Upstate over. There was never a line that came out. I have plenty of different VIP clients that reached out. Some people on YouTube actually reached out to me as well. They're like, I can't get this line anywhere. And honestly, good thing it didn't, because the final score was 7-0. USC Upstate, one of the top teams in average and on base percentage, didn't even score a run against Clemson. Definitely not what I saw coming. In my ego, that counts as a loss, but there was no sports book I reached out to. The two books I mainly use, which are three: DraftKings, MyBookie, and Bovada. None of them could get it up, so I know nobody that at least tried to tail was able to tail. And if you did, hit me up, because I was not able to see that line ever. That line never came out. None of the books I used came out, so technically it's a wash. Like I have here in my winnable, I have that it was a no action. We just never were able to see it. I would have definitely taken it. So in my ego, that one definitely did not hit, but it wasn't. So it's kind of interesting that way. I did, however, reach out on YouTube, and I said, you know what, I'm going to give out as many, I guess, tidbits to each different game as I can, so that I can help you guys out, because we weren't able to give a free pick. And that's all I want to do, is kind of give you guys that knowledge for free here and there, so that you guys can kind of take with that what you will. I know a couple of people dabble in some of the plays that I, say here on YouTube, and they've reached out to me saying, hey, thank you for going over that update. I was able to take that money line and put it in a parlay that I did. Awesome, guys. That's the whole point. I'm not here to not help you guys. I'm here to help you guys. You guys are here to help me grow, just as I'm trying to help your pockets grow, guys. It is us against the books forever. Fuck the books forever, like we always say. All me and my VIP clients always fuck the books. We never want them to win. We are in this together, guys. I don't want anybody to lose just as much. Every single bet that I put out there, guys, I bet. So going into the free picks, guys, or my VIP actually, Texas A&M, Washington moneyline lay. That was one of the VIP plays I had. Complete loser. That one is because Texas A&M, and I'm gonna put a screenshot right. I'm gonna probably put it right over here, actually, in this. You guys will be able to see. I told all my buddies that I gamble with, and other buddies that I have on Winnable that do content as well. They do different stuff. They were like, hey, we got to go on Texas. You got to go on Texas A&M today. I was like, no. We never touch Texas A&M. Well, turns out I told myself I'd never do it again. I did it again, and they absolutely fucked me one more time. Just for good. They wanted to get us one more time. So never doing that again. Texas A&M is on the no bet list for the rest of probably this year, maybe even next year. That team is dead to me. We will never speak of them again. The big one, guys, Georgia Tech -1.5 and Georgia Tech UNC moneyline lay. Both of those cash. Those were huge cashes for the channel, especially for VIP. If you guys want to pause this, you'll be able to see. This was my VIP that I sent out to all my people that bought the college baseball pass. Okay, guys, again, we have like 15 left, and because today was a limited slate, I will still leave up the promo code that we have. I believe there's like 15 or 14 slots left. Okay, guys, use promo code YouTube to get 50% off my college baseball week pass this week. I guarantee that there were some of my clients, I know a couple of them actually reached out to me that they were able to pay for that VIP just because of the plays that were hit today, because Georgia Tech was such a big hammer. I mean, I hammered it so hard today, guys, that I sent out to my VIP right here. They locked the spread. I went in there and put a nuke on them on that -1.5, and they were scared and they stopped doing it. They completely took it off their book. So I know a lot of people that were able to cash that, and I even had a couple people reach out that were able to get the live as well, because Georgia Tech kind of started off slow and then they turned it on like I thought they would once they got deep into that Kennesaw bullpen. So as you guys could see, I do write-ups, guys. I do let all this type of stuff on my VIP. You guys will be able to see that. I promise you guys, it's so worth it. I love to put out these write-ups because this is kind of why I pick the play. Like, I try my best to do it in these videos, but my write-ups are, my most strongest plays. Like the free plays, yes, I feel strongly about it, but obviously VIP are the ones I really, really love. So you guys can, like I said, look at kind of what I saw going into that game, and that is what I'm going to do every single day for you with that college baseball week pass. So again, promo code YouTube for 50% off that. So again, profiting day, guys. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. We were 2-1 on the day, but we were able to profit 1 unit. I know some people that maybe hiked up those units even more because of my write-up. That's all I really want, guys. Again, we are all about profiting. This has been a 62 plus 62 units on the channel thus far this year. We're gonna keep on going up, okay, guys? Hopefully, they said tomorrow we'll be able to get the lines for these damn games so that we can actually cash on some of these free picks together. So we'll check one more time while you guys are on here to see if there's any lines up on DraftKings, and there's not. This is so tough. So what I'm going to... Oh, there I am again. I'm going to make sure that I float this up top. So there is no lines out, guys, so we're going to go ahead and look at the slate. We're going to go over the slate a little bit. I dove into this for about the last hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, this slate is so bad. This whole week has been crazy, like just how bad the games are. I know that we're getting into the time where we're gonna finally start having the games that really matter, which I'm so excited for this channel, because that's when this is really gonna take off. They're gonna have lines before, and if not, at least we know these teams a little bit better, so we're not having to bet on the shit teams of the world, or just the teams that we don't really care about as much. But going into the slate a little bit, guys, just a couple things that I noticed. This Xavier Tennessee game, I was looking into it a little bit. Tennessee is absolutely raking right now, and so is Xavier. Xavier actually has a series this weekend going against Vanderbilt, so they're not going to do any look ahead here to the number 2 team in the country, and actually I think it should be the number 1 team, but that's neither here nor there. Tennessee absolutely rocked Radford today. They had 3 grand slams. The game went over the total by 1 million. But again, I was looking at the weather report, guys. The wind is going southwest-west, okay, or west-southwest is kind of what it said, which is pretty close to almost horizontal, but if you kind of get the wind right, it's about 20 miles an hour to the right field. There is a lot of lefty bats in that Tennessee lineup that probably will take advantage of this Xavier pitching staff. So if I were to look anything in this game, if I got like a 13.5, 12.5 over under, I'd probably take it. So I really like that over there, and something I'm definitely interested in if they do put that out there, that line. So the wind is a huge factor in some of these games, but at the end of the day, both of these teams hit really well, and I really like the offenses that both the teams have. So I looked into Troy, Alabama as well. This is going to be probably one of the best midweek matchups of the year. Alabama still undefeated, and Troy a really great mid-major. Again, in this game, the weather in this game is a little bit interesting, but I'd probably still lean in over in this game. As far as a total that I think in my head, I'm assuming it's going to come out 13.5, 14.5, which is probably going to be a little bit too rich for me, just because I don't know how Troy's offense is going to come out against Alabama. I know that Alabama had another midweek this week, so it's going to be 2 staffing games for both of these teams, and I just know that the books are going to juice up Alabama's because they have been cashing those over so easily. So going into the shitbag titty fucks of the week, Texas A&M, the team that should not even be in the top 25. I told you everybody at the beginning of the year that they were going to be shit, and they they are, and I keep on. Anyways, Texas A&M, Texas Southern. You couldn't pay me enough money to take Texas A&M at this time. If you guys want to put them in your parlays because you think they'll finally win at home, by all means. They've lost 3 straight games at home. One to Cal Poly, Texas State, and then today UTSA. So those are their 3 losses at home. If anything, sprinkle a little money line on Texas Southern. I mean, this team right now, you just cannot touch them. I'm so sorry. They're horrific. St. Bonaventure Vanderbilt. I know that the Bonnies are starting a guy that has 8 innings pitched, about 9 walks, and like 8 strikeouts. So not the greatest stats in the world. I know that he missed last year due to injury. And Vanderbilt is starting a freshman that hasn't thrown over 2 innings. That game specifically, I know that Nashville, I was looking, and it's going to be a little bit rainy. In those games, you can kind of hit or miss whether you want to take the over or under. If this game comes out at like 11.5, I might be taking that over. I do like Vanderbilt in this game as well, a bounce back spot from their last 2 losses. I think they lost to UCLA last week, and I know for sure they lost to UConn because I remember that game very vividly. But Vanderbilt in a bounce back spot at home. The St. Bonaventure is not terrible, but I do like that starter for Vanderbilt, the freshman. So he should be a fun watch. So go ahead and check that one out. Any of these other games, we didn't really dive too much into these ones. I looked a little bit into Boston College, Richmond, not really one I'd want to touch. Norfolk State still hasn't won a game this year. They're playing Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, I would assume, is going to come out at a minus 800 money line, so there's no value there. As for the over-under, I think that Virginia Tech's probably going to 10-run them, so the over-under is not going to be really worth it if you can't get Norfolk State to score. So I'd probably lay off of that one unless the over-under comes out at like a low 11.5. Maybe take that because Virginia Tech could probably do that by themselves. Villanova versus Miami. I don't really have a lean in this game. Villanova's kind of a weird team. They've played good against some teams, and then they get boat raced by a really mid-Michigan team, 0-19. So probably not going to have anything in that one. Stetson BYU is interesting. Stetson's coming all the way from Florida to Provo. They just got there today, actually. So I think going over this game, I'd probably lean BYU. This is a first of the 4-game series. So BYU, I don't know. I tried to look for their starters because this was a really interesting game to me. But I wasn't able to get to the window with this one because I don't know who the starters are yet. I'm not very impressed with Stetson's bat. So if I were to take a side in this one, I would definitely take BYU because I really like Gluber, the starter. They're technically Friday night starter, their best starter, but it's going to be a Wednesday. So that's the one I'd kind of lean there. I tried to find some value in the South Florida versus Florida Gulf Coast. South Florida just got beat by 10 at home their last 2 games against UCF, a pretty good Big 12 team. Florida Gulf Coast has had quite a few tight matchups, especially against Georgia. I think they lost 3 different games to them by 1 run. So that's something to take there. Probably lean FGCU. FAU, guys, is a really, really solid mid-major school. They have a 10-1 record against Florida. You know, Florida's lost their last one against Miami, and they actually lost today as well against UCF. You'd think it's a bounce-back spot, but I'm not really trying to take a bounce-back spot with a team that's 10-1. If I were to still lean, I'd lean Florida in this one, so take that for what you will. I do believe that they'll get back on the hump, even though FAU is a 10-1 team, but it's probably a little bit of a fraudulent one. This might be a good money line piece if you like Florida in this one. That's probably it, guys. I mean, I could go on with all these different teams, but I hope that gives you guys more knowledge going forward. I know I told you guys I want to try to give you a little bit more picks or at least more analysis because yesterday didn't necessarily count because we didn't have a free play. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But going into the free pick, guys, or the game that I'm going to like the most for this free pick, we're going to go with the Southern Miss Mississippi matchup. This is because I know both teams a little bit better. I don't know why it did that. Southern Miss, it's not even going to pull that up. Okay, we got 11% on my MacBook, and I don't have my charger. Okay, so the real reason why I like this, guys, so we're going to go ahead and go look at the starter, the projected starter for Southern Miss. He is a freshman that has only thrown 2.2 innings is the max he's thrown. He has 4.2 innings on the year, 4 strikeouts, given up a double. That's not terrible against Ole Miss, a team that probably is one of the better hitting teams that we've kind of seen. That he had 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 2 earned, and a walk. I would assume he's not going to go any more than 3 innings. So this one looks as if it's going to be a staffing game for Southern Miss. Then we're going to go into the starter for Mississippi State, if you guys can still see this here. Mississippi State starter is a transfer from Indiana State, and his first start was very not impressive, okay? So he pitched against Manhattan and had 1 inning, 3 earned, 2 walks, and a 27 ERA in that game. But then he bounced back against Troy, had 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, and 9 strikeouts against Troy. Troy is a much, much better team than Manhattan. I would assume maybe this is pre-jitters. It looks like he started actually the first game. So he was the Friday night guy. He was the very first starter on the year for Mississippi State. So I do really like Mississippi State lean in this one because I think the starter is going to come back out and pitch really well for these guys. And also, this is a bounce back spot, guys. So their first game they played in Hattiesburg against Southern Miss, and they actually lost 0-3, didn't score a single fucking run. I believe in this one they're going to come out because Mississippi State lost their last 2 in the Astros Foundation Classic against 2 really solid teams. Played Oklahoma State, a ranked team, and Arizona, a ranked team, and lost to both of them by a combined 3 runs, okay? So I would assume a team like this is hungry. They got their hog on the mound. That's probably not the best way to say it. They got their hoss on the mound against Southern Miss. They've got Queens on deck at home. They're not going to be looking ahead to anything, okay, guys? So I really do like them to bounce back in the spot and get a victory. I would assume this money line comes out near even, okay? So we're going to take the money line in this game. Also, one thing I wanted to point out with Southern Miss's schedule, and this is just kind of looking ahead, kind of what their schedule looks like. They are coming from Fort Worth to Starkville for this game, and then all the way to Pete Taylor Park in yes. Okay. Yeah, so they're coming from Fort Worth to Starkville. Obviously, Mississippi State's already in Starkville. They're ready to rock and roll. I think that this UNCW on deck, this is a really solid team and a team that probably Southern Miss wants to beat because of the mid-major madness that's going on with those two, that they're obviously both going to be very competitive. So I believe it, not that they're going to look over an SEC team, but if they're going to, staff a game, they're not going to care as much about this one as they would probably this series that they got coming up. Maybe keep some of their better bullpen arms ready for the weekend. That's kind of how I look at this game. They are also coming off 2 huge victories against TCU at TCU, so I believe maybe they're a little bit fat and happy with this one, where Mississippi State's going to be hungry, ready to rock and roll because they haven't gotten those close run victories to go their way. So we're going to go with Mississippi State to outright money line in this free pick video. Again, guys, if you haven't already subscribed at least to my free picks on Winnable, go ahead and go to winnable.com/BGSbets. We're going to go ahead and just subscribe there, guys. It's free. You'll get a text sent out to each one of you every single time I post in here. And if you guys want, again, the college baseball week pass, it's gonna pay for itself in one day, okay? If not one day, by the end of the week, you should be able to buy 3 or 4 college baseball week passes, okay, guys? It's still discounted, 15 spots left. Code YouTube for that, guys. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all. Fuck the books forever. We're all in this together, and we will go see you at the cash counter. We'll see you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.